Welcome to the live show. The next show will be better. Yay! How is everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're here. We have a couple things to talk about. Couple things. Let's see. What do we have to talk about? We have to talk about my namesake. We have to do some research on that. And also, before we left the last live show last week, Falco asked if we could do a react to some RAF regiment drill stuff, which we didn't get to. So we're going to do that today. And we're going to see where the night takes us from there. Sound good? Please ignore my appearance as I am extremely tired tonight. I had a little bit of a one-to-one with my boss today, which is pretty frequent actually, every couple weeks for some reason. But today was a particularly dicey one. So anyways, it just exhausted me. That place I think I'm having an issue with just being in office environments. I'm not going to bore you guys with it. Anyways, let's see who's here because the next show is only better when you're there. So let's see who we got. Roy Cousins, who is a member. Hello. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Manny, who is also a member. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys want to be a member and you aren't, just, click on that join button below, become a member. It's a small fee, but you do get exclusive content. You also get priority response to comments, as well as £1 of your membership fee being donated directly to the Royal British Legion. So if you could help us out, we are trying to reach £1,000 by the end of the year. So if you could contribute in any way, that would be great. If you can't become a member or it's something that you're not interested in, no worries. Appreciate you viewing all of our videos and giving that thumbs up and commenting and interacting in any way that you can. All of it helps, and all of it either goes back into the channel or goes to the Royal British Legion. So I appreciate whatever contribution you can make. So yeah, I think today's going to be kind of a short one because, as I mentioned, I'm very tired. But I'm usually tired because again, I said I wasn't going to get into it. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm going to save the RAF thing for when Falco joins us. Hopefully, he could be able to join us today since we're going to be doing that for him per his request. Yeah. So what's going on with you guys? How has your week been so far? We had a pretty good week. Well, we had to do some gardening and stuff this week, which is what I absolutely hate about this house, only because I just hate doing gardening or lawn or any of that stuff. But it had to be done. But we were able to go out and have some family time on Sunday, and it turned out to be pretty nice. A little chilly, but it turned out to be pretty nice. And we had a nice little drive as I was, even though I spent most of the day working. We broke it up with a drive, but it was good. Maybe that's my issue. Maybe I'm just working way too much. Maybe I need a break. Well, I do need a break. I need a break from normal everyday jobs. And just to be able to do this. Just be here for you guys. Anyway, so I have there's this new feature that is being beta tested with StreamYard. Was showing the comments in the corner like that, kind of like a Twitch kind of streamy thing. Let me know if you guys like that or not. I thought we'd try it out. I'm not sure how I feel because I have the comments column and then I have that column, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys like seeing the comments or not on the screen rather than just on the option side chat thing. I I know there's some people who don't like it on the screen and they like having the option. That's just people I know in like my real life and my private life that are like that. I don't know if you guys care or not. So let me know. Roy Cousin says, I had a long weekend in Devon. Weather was fantastic. Really? Where is Devon? Oh, okay. Is that Cornwall? Like near, is it part of Cornwall or near Cornwall? Is that right? So it looks like. I'm looking at a map, but I don't know. This would probably help. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So there's a map of Devon. So yeah, okay. So it's near Cornwall, between Cornwall and Somerset. Gotcha. Somerset is a town actually near where we used to live in New Jersey, and it was the home of the AAA baseball team for the Yankees. So baseball is set up in America a little bit like the soccer system here, the football system, but it's instead of like teams getting relegated, it's like individual players. So you'll play for what's called the AAA, which is like, it's still pro, but it's only like semi-pro, and then you can get called up to the professional leagues, to the major leagues. So they all of the major league baseball teams have minor league affiliates, and Somerset Patriots was the Yankees affiliate, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they were. Anyway, they have their own stadium and everything, and we used to go there all the time because tickets were relatively cheap because it's minor leagues, and we used to have all kinds of special nights and everything. So it was kind of fun. They had like Star Wars night and things like that. Yeah, especially when the kids were little, it was really fun. Anyway, yeah, last county before in Cornwall. So I was in the right area. Hi, Vic MacArthur. Thank you for joining us. I'll be thrown out if I say Devon is part of Cornwall. Will I? Is that who would I get thrown out for? The people in Devon or the people in Cornwall? Or both? Y'all get strangely territorial here. It's very, you're very big on your regions here. Nick Hobbs, thank you so much for joining, and welcome to the UK. Welcome to the UK from the Peak District. I know I haven't been to the Peak District or the Lake District. I haven't been to a lot of places. We're supposed to be going a lot this summer, but it's not working out so far. Life starts taking over. Hi, TJ. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nick. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy I'm getting to enjoy it. Hopefully I get to enjoy it a little more over the summer. Both Devon and Cornwall will kick my ass. Okay, fine. All right, so who wants to find out about my namesake? Turns out there's another Mandy Hickson in the world. Never knew. But also, the alternate Mandy Hickson is an former RAF pilot. How freaking cool is that? Oh my goodness. So let's find out all about her. I purposely haven't done a lot of research on her because I wanted to do it with you guys in real time. So So this is her apparently. Badass as hell, obviously. Former RAF fast jet pilot. Mandy Hickson has over 30 years experience within aviation. She joined the Royal Air Force in 1994 and was the first woman to fly the Tornado GR on the front lines. Let's find out more. There she is. Look at her. She operated in hostile environments, including patrolling the no-fly zone over Iraq. Since leaving the RAF, she retrained as a facilitator and coach in human factors, where she draws on her experience of calculated risk-taking, decision-making under pressure, and the critical role of the human in the system to transfer vivid lessons from the cockpit to management and leadership contexts. As an aviation ambassador for the Department of Transport, trustee for the Royal Air Force Charitable Trust, and fellow of the Royal Aeronautical Society, she continues to inspire the next generation into STEM-related endeavors and into the world of aviation. She continues to foster her adventurous spirit, completing expeditions to the summit of Kilimanjaro and base camp of Everest in recent years. Whew! She is nothing like me. Mandy is now a highly demanded keynote speaker, where she talks with humor and great passion to inspire those around her. She has been invited to share her insights with some of the most successful organizations across the world, where she describes the strategies and behaviors that can be adopted when the stakes are at their highest. She has recently launched her best-selling book, An Officer, Not a Gentleman, her inspirational journey to become a pioneering female fighter pilot. Holy cow! She's awesome. I'm an instant fan. This is so cool. This is really cool. Should we see if we can find a video with a little tidbit about? I don't know how long these are.
Roger, you are clear for display. The wind at the moment 29011.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Ah! My mouse is broken, so I'm a little bit like working with the handicapped here. Okay. Bear with me. Sorry, guys.
Roger, you are clear for display. The wind at the moment 29011. Crosswind 7 from the right.
Dang! Well, I have to subscribe, obviously, now. Wow! That's crazy. She's awesome. I gotta buy her book now, and I definitely have to learn more about her. I'm so intrigued and interested. She's obviously a much better woman than I am. She's just the fact that she was an RAF pilot, incredible. Anybody that's going to sacrifice their life for their country is a better person than me, because I don't know that I could ever do that. So much respect. I just really truly, I mean, I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe we have the same name. Mine was inherited by marriage, to be fair. But hey, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to be somewhat tethered to an RAF pilot. And now, she's sort of an ambassador and motivational speaker. That's cool. That's cool. I need to step up my game. Maybe I should get my book out. Should finally publish my book. Maybe I should get on that. Anyways, what do you guys like? Lots of people have said called Mandy, and lots of people with the last name of Hickson out there in the world, I'm sure. But I don't remember ever hearing about a Mandy Hickson ever before. So I think it's kind of cool. Well, it's definitely cool. She's cool. But also, I just like, any of you guys know, anyone in the chat maybe, have you ever encountered someone that had your name or the name of someone else that you knew, like exactly like that? The reason it's so awesome, well, the reason it's so unusual for me, I should say, is that like Mandy's usually short for Amanda. So most of the Mandys I have met have been Amanda's, and they're just called Mandy. But it looked like her name is actually Mandy, which my name is actually Mandy, which is unusual. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, I've only met one other person who was Mandy and not Amanda being called Mandy. So anyways, badass. Love it. Represent. Nick says you really should visit. It's beautiful here, but take your time. I know life gets in the way. Yeah, life gets in the way way too often. Like saying Birkenhead is Liverpool. Where's Birkenhead? I'm assuming it's up north somewhere. Mick says call the vet because the mouse is broken. I know it's not. I think it needs to be charged up or something like that because it's not connecting. It's not connecting. It's like I actually reach and use the mouse pad on the laptop. What's that all about? Oh my gosh, don't yell at me, TJ. TJ's yelling at me. I know. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. You kind of put yourself in perspective though when you look at this side-by-side comparison. It's like I thought I achieved a lot by starting over at this age in a new country and bringing my family and everything. And I'm not trying to take away from that, but it's not quite as cool as being an RAF pilot. And a female RAF pilot at that. So, but thank you, TJ. I appreciate it. Nick says they once had someone present a credit card with their name on it. Really? That must have been trippy. Did you stop for a second and were like, wait, is this mine? Did you steal my shit? Because I probably would have done that. I would have been like, what? I definitely would have done that. I would have been like, who are you? Do I know you? I have a namesake famous adjacent across the Mersey. Do you really? Is TJ an initial for something, TJ? Or is it like your name, TJ? You don't have to say the names or anything. I'm just curious. Because I knew a TJ that there was just their name was TJ and it wasn't short for anything. But I knew a DJ that was short for something. So I'm just being nosy and curious, you guys. I don't really have a plan today. And Valko's not here, so I don't want to do this regiment thing he asked me about without him. So you guys talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's up. What do you guys think of the Biden getting diagnosed with cancer? Not what do you think? Like, I'm sure most of you are like, obviously it's not a good thing, but I was kind of indifferent hearing the news because it was like, it was just like, I was just like, okay. I mean, he's like 100 years old. I mean, I'm sure he's got health problems, obviously. I'm surprised, it hasn't come out sooner. But then again, when you think about the fact that they covered up his mental decline, and maybe I'm not so surprised. So Nick Hobbs. Oh, so he's continuing his story. So I once had someone present a credit card with my name on it. Yeah, it was kind of freaky. Also, I would love you to watch the jetpack video we have in the mountains. If you search, it's called Paramedic Mountain Rescue. That's what I do. I work in the Peak District. So you do like rescues in the mountains? Is that what you do, Nick? Oh, that's okay, Manny. You don't have to be sorry. Take your phone call by all means. My first name is hyphenated. You mean hyphenated? TJ says, I have 2 surnames. Oh, okay. Geez, your name is long then. Jesus. So you work in the... So, Nick, tell me more about your work. As I'm searching up some things here. Tell me more. No, I worked on the tech. I don't do the paramedic stuff. Do you do the climbing? Do you do the mountain climbing? Just curious. Do you guys mountain climb? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about how they just got into mountain climbing, and they're like my age, which is in their 40s, and that they were loving it. They weren't really they were still on like the baby section or whatever, but they were loving it. So I was just curious, has anyone actually done mountain climbing? Because I have never known anyone that's actually done it. The closest I've come is knowing someone that wore mountain climbing shoes because they were really comfortable. That's all. So is this mountain climbing, or is it like aviation, like stuff off a mountain? Because I also recently seen someone that kind of flew with the wings. They had I don't remember what it's called. But it's like that parachute thing that you strap to your back, but you open your arms and almost like wings, like you're flying, and you come down the mountain or whatever. So is it some kind of things like that, or is it like mountain climbing? And what exactly do you do tech? Like you just film it? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I've literally been yawning all day. So, like, are you just filming it, or you hook up the stuff to them to film their journey, or how does it work? I need more info. Manny says, it was so sad to hear that President Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive strain of prostate cancer. Thoughts and prayers to him for a recovery, but Trump's comments were pathetic as per usual. I actually don't know what Trump said, to be honest with you. Let's see. Trump calls Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis in question. A long time ago. I don't think Trump knows what day it is. I'm just being honest. He's also no spring chicken. He's also, I'm sure, has health issues, whatever they are. So I honestly don't think he knows what's going on either. Have you heard some of his speeches lately? Compared to his first term, he was still like, he would go off the cuff and he would go on tangents and all that kind of stuff, and it was still all about him, but he was still somewhat coherent. These speeches lately with him are just like, I can barely follow them, and I speak Trump for the most part, having lived through it. So I'm not surprised if he was like being obnoxious and pathetic just because it's Biden, because that's who he is. So they use jetpacks on the mountains. Interesting. Yeah, I hear you, TJ. I agree with you. They have said cancer, and they won't say anything like dementia. Specifically, agree with you because of they don't want to destroy his legacy. As if he's got a big legacy. Just 1 second, Nick. I'll see if I can find it for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. TJ's done climbing and abseiling. Is that what that flying thing is? That flying thing. That's what abseiling is? I think Mr. Biden gave his life to serve the people who voted for him. Good guy in my books. That's fine, Mick. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I just have a problem with, like, I don't know him as a person, so I'm not judging him as a person at all. I'm just judging him by how he acted as president, okay? Nothing that I ever say on anything on this channel ever has to do with people, like their actual persona, because most of the time I don't know them, right? So I'm just reacting to whatever it is that I see. When it comes to Biden, I'm reacting to his presidency. You got to remember, I lived under his presidency. I lived under his vice presidency. And it's very difficult as a woman in America who's raising a young woman in America to see your rights get taken away from you and the president not doing anything about it, barely even saying anything about it. It's really difficult. So I have a little bit of a thorn in my side because of that. Also, I don't think that he would have become president if it wasn't COVID. And I think there's probably a legacy thing going on there. That's just my opinion. So I don't like that kind of backhanded shenanigans when it comes to the people voting for leadership. But that's not exclusive to Biden. That happens all the time. But I think he could have done a lot more. And I think he could have taken a few stands on certain topics, in my opinion. I don't hate him by any means, but I do think he could have done better. But I don't like how he's acting as if he's like changed the world, because he didn't. That gets under my skin more than anything. Trump, as usual, boasted how he passed his own cognitive tests. Yeah. Trump's got serious issues, all of them mental, unhinged, sociopathic, derangement, you name it, he's displaying all in front of us every single day. That's the thing. Wasn't Mick, it was Manny, my apologies. That's the thing is that Trump is clearly not fit to lead, in my opinion. I think it's very obvious. The other thing is that because he's so easily swayed and pushed in certain directions, there's so many people around him this time around that are pushing him in directions that I think are really bad for America And if it's bad for America, then the rest of the world will be affected, unfortunately. So I worry about that. Plus, I still have a tie to America, so of course I worry about that. But there's nothing I can do about it from here. It's such a strange this feeling. I know I've talked about this before, but it's just so weird to like have grown up in a country and then you see it happening, like you see the stuff that's happen, and you're always helpless anyway, because it's not like America has a ton of connection to its actual citizens as far as like changing the world or passing laws or influencing leadership or anything. But I really have nothing. Like I really have nothing to go for. I can't vote in local elections. I can't form, organize locally and help out, a local candidate or anything like that. I don't like Donald Trump, but I didn't like Donald Trump before he was president, before he was in politics, before he was a celebrity game show host. I've never liked him. I've never realized what the appeal was. I just never got it. I always thought he was pretty narcissistic and arrogant, and I was never drawn to any of that kind of energy. So I was actually disappointed when he got into politics, because I thought, okay, here's a celebrity getting into politics. Let's see how this is going to go. TJ, you've done ropes and dropped down. Jesus Christ. I understand your position, Manny. I do. A lot of people do. Hi, Nick. I'm not trying to be obnoxious. I just don't normally let people send links just for security purposes. It's nothing personal. So, but if you want to email me the link, I'll be more than happy to check it out and do a react video for it if you'd like. I have no problem doing that. I just don't want to send it in the link because I don't want to mess anything up that we're doing here. So just send it to me at Hicksondiaries@gmail.com. Hi, Colin. Thank you for joining. Manny has a question. On your website, I was reading the blog post and I clicked on one of them and said I had to subscribe, but I'm already a member. Do I still have to subscribe to view posts? No, you shouldn't. That's probably a mistake. I don't know why that's on there. I will check it. I wonder if it was supposed to be like in the email to try to get people to subscribe to the newsletter, but I'll double check that. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for going to the website and checking it out. I appreciate that. You guys didn't know and you're curious, we have a website now, Hicksondiaries.com. There's some stuff on there. There's information and links for the Royal British Legion, explaining our partnership, and also links for you to either donate or get help for someone or yourself. There's also some background on what we want to do with the website. There's a shop, there's blog posts, as Manny mentioned. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you become a member on the website. It's free to become a member or sign up for the newsletter. You should be getting regular weekly emails of the blog. And there's also a shop that has some merch like this out there if you guys are interested. So yeah, go check it out. There's more stuff coming as well. I'm working on some other pages behind the scenes, and also some tools to help people that are either expatting or people who are trying to like make a big change in their life and things like that. So all that's to come. More to come. We are growing at a rate that's so much bigger than I ever thought it would come to, but good problems to have. Nick says, normally I love to talk politics, but I don't want to get into it this evening. I understand. It's not for everybody. Colin says, I really don't get the U.S. has gone from loved country to hate in such a short amount of time. Yeah. I don't think really that a lot of it is directed towards the United States as a whole. I think more of it is, and I definitely don't think it's directed towards the citizens per se. I mean, there are some people that have problems with US citizens because, Trump did win the popular vote, but there's a popular vote. But there are so many other factors that are figured in behind the scenes with that. There's a lot of people that were upset with Biden about the debate and running for re-election when he said he wouldn't. There's a lot of people that were upset with how he was handling the Israel-Gaza conflict. There's a lot of people upset with the Ukraine-Russia war still going on and not still sending them money. And there's a lot of people who were just disenfranchised, who are just completely disenfranchised with the status quo and the I forgot the name, what they call it now, but it's basically the people that are in power now. Just, they're just fed up with leadership as it is. And they just want something completely different. So a lot of people sat out the vote, actually. And a lot of people voted for Trump because they didn't want another year of Biden. So there's just a lot of stuff going on there. But ultimately, in my opinion, Trump was not the better choice. But he's a different character, right? You don't know what you're going to get. He's a mixed bag. So it's easy to still be hopeful, I guess, because you don't know what you're going to get. Whereas with 4 more years of Biden, we knew it was going to be exactly the same as the last 4 years, which were not really great. So anyways. So yeah, I do think that it's more. Thank you for letting me know, Manny. I will definitely check it. I do think it's more that it's like an anti-Trump thing than an establishment. A lot of people were trying to vote against the establishment because people in America, it's really hard to explain to people who've never been there, lived there really for long extended periods of time, not just visiting, because you don't really see it when you're just visiting. It's really about the living conditions. And I was talking about this with my partner over the weekend because even he's kind of in that like bubble because he's British and he grew up in England, but he also spent a large part of his life in America and now he's trying to readapt to living here. So he agrees. He tries to explain sometimes things like the inherent racism and the violence and stuff. And it's not necessarily that it's like around every corner, but it's like you can literally just walk into someone's house and see a gun laying around. And you're always on eggshells in America. I don't know how else to explain it really, at least at the moment, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have. That's really what this channel is all about. Me learning about British culture and you guys trying to learn about American culture. TJ trying to lighten things up. When you first walked on a cobbled street, did you go all giddy? I actually didn't, but I did when I first saw a castle in real life, a real castle for the first time. I like jumped up and down and everything. The cobble streets, we actually have some cobble streets in Philadelphia. There's an area in Philadelphia, it's called Old City. And that's where all of the historical stuff happened. So it's where like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were written. The first Continental Congress and the Second Continental Congress met up there. The Liberty Bell is there. So there's a whole like square of buildings and all that kind of stuff, museums and things in Philadelphia, and they're all like the original cobblestone streets. So I've actually walked on cobblestone before. So I guess that's why it didn't really hit me, but sorry. Yeah, but when I first saw a castle, I was literally jumping up and down, and I still get giddy like that whenever I see a castle. Oh, and this weekend, so I've been to Dover Castle a few times, right? And this weekend on our little like adventure that we did this weekend, we went to the channel because I'd never actually seen it from the channel point of view. I've only ever really seen it from the Dover Castle point of view. And finally, for the first time ever since I have been to that area, it was clear enough for me to actually see France on the other side of the channel, which I have been told for the last few decades that you can, but this time I finally got to see it. And it had always been way too foggy before. I never saw it, and everyone was just like, oh yeah, it's really there. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Of course, I know it's actually there. I'm not that naive or silly, but yeah. So I was really excited about that, to be honest, because that was really cool. We don't have really anything like that in America. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, it's definitely not the people in the United States for the most part. I mean, there are people that are extremely racist and extremely misogynistic, and there are people that are voting for really crazy things. But there's so much propaganda in America. It's not like here the news is like you get news. You don't really get news, like just straight news in America at all. It's always skewed. There's always a certain propagandic angle to it. There's always some kind of, I mean, there's bias in everything, but there's like severe bias. And you're either on one side or the other in most of the news channels. There's very few that give you a real clear, like honest take on anything. And that has a lot to do with why people do what they do and vote the way they vote and all of that. And we're sold lies from birth in America, like literally from birth, that we can grow up and be whatever we want, that, we matter and all of this stuff. Yet we're conditioned throughout our life to just be a factory worker and a drone. We have very little cultivating of actual personality or enthusiasm for anything, unless you have an extreme talent and they can make money off of it. It's really, really bad. The education system's being torn apart. It's extraordinarily expensive. Like, it's expensive to live here, but it's really expensive to live in America, at least to live well. And then you add things like medical costs and stuff on top of it. It's really, really, really difficult. It's a hard life in America right now, for most people, most average people. There's, of course, very elite people and people that are, well off or have good opportunity at their disposal. And so they're doing okay. But for the average everyday person, like our equivalent, it's really hard. Really hard. Also, when you scroll down, thank you for letting me know, Manny. I'll do some more looking. Can I ask if you're on your phone or if you're on that laptop? Because I don't know. I know there's two different views from my perspective that I have to both look at. So I'm wondering if it's one specific section. Thank you so much for letting me know. And I appreciate that feedback so that I can fix it. And I apologize for it. And I hope that if anyone else is encountering it, you can forgive me as I stumble through how to maintain a website. TJ says, in my opinion, all prime ministers and presidents are puppets. I think they kind of have to be in a way, because you have to be able to appease a lot of people to get that kind of power. The thing that is different about the way the American government set up to elect a president, as opposed to the prime minister here in the UK, is here you're voting for a party, and the party votes for the leader, right? And that leader becomes prime minister if you get the majority. In America, you can vote for president and not vote for, like, you can vote for Trump as a Republican and then vote Democrat for everything else on the ticket. Like, you have that luxury. You're literally voting for that office specifically. you're not voting for the party. So it's a little different because you do have a little bit more direct say in that context, but then you factor in the electoral college and it all goes to shit. Yeah, it's a lot of rich people running the show. You're right, Colin. That's really what it boils down to. And they don't want to let go of power or status or money. So they're doing everything they can to influence whoever's in leadership, whether it be someone like Biden or someone like Trump, to get their way. Whatever it is they want. They do not care. British. I can't help it. It's my accent. Thank you, Manny. I appreciate that. You're a good pal and a good channel member. Thank you for keeping us honest. Hi, Maxwell. Glad you could join us. Maxwell says, Americans knew exactly what they were getting with Trump, a rapist, 34 guilty counts, a liar. I agree. I think the problem is for some people, it was a trade-off they were willing to make in either they were in a position where they knew they would get benefits because they're in a wealthy position, a position of wealth or power, or they were hoping that he would break the system so that we could revamp it. I don't know. I mean, I've heard a bunch of analysis on it and everything, and I'm kind of done listening to it at this point, to be honest. But I do think that from my personal point of view, because I lived under the first Trump presidency in the US, I think that people in the United States are just so desperate for the establishment to break and for, someone to actually just listen, that even someone who is giving the persona of listening is endearing at this point, or at least a little sliver of hope. That's the best explanation I can come up with in layman's terms. Anyone know who's pinched our brain? Clear days ahead. No, we want the clear days. I don't mind the rain, actually. I'm getting kind of used to walking in the rain, and I've come to definitely see how it's I've come to appreciate the smell of walking in the rain. Don't think I'm queer in any way on that subject. I didn't mean any offense by saying the word queer. I meant strange, unusual. Don't judge me, but it smells fresh and revitalizing. Just really refreshing, just crisp, and I don't know, I feel like I can breathe. Sometimes when it's just sunny out, maybe it's because of my allergies, my hay fever. Sometimes when it's sunny out, it's like hard for me to breathe properly and everything. I was noticing that as today compared to yesterday. Yesterday, when I was walking home, it was chilly, but I was like comfortable. Like I wasn't having trouble breathing. I wasn't having any of the sinus stuff. Today, my hay fever is acting up all day, and it was warmer today. The sun was out a little bit more. There's more cloud cover yesterday, so I'm just going to assume that has something to do with it and not really research it or think about it. We're just going to go with it. All right, you're on a mobile device. Okay, I'll check. I don't know if it has, I don't know how the iPad, it's usually mobile, right? TJ's not a good member. TJ's a terrible member. You're a general pain. You are a general pain in the arse. Am I going to get flagged for that? Probably. It's okay. Yo, I've been getting, how last week we talked about me doing the marathon of reactions to all the comedy British shows and all the other British stuff that you want me to see, which I was really excited about. I've gotten 2 different copyright, like not strikes, because strikes are really, really bad, but just like notifications that some of my reactions aren't getting monetized because they're like copyrighted. And I fought them and I wrote back like I normally do. I'm like, I got this from YouTube, it's free and fair use, etc., etc. So all this legal jargon stuff that people told me to say, and they're still not monetizing them. No, I don't mind normally on an everyday video, a regular video, because it's not really about that for me. But I would mind on the marathon thing, because the whole point of that was to raise more money for the RBL. So if a lot of it's not going to make any money, then what's the point? So now I'm like, I have to do some more research and figure some more things out behind the scenes for that. And I'm a little kind of burst my bubble about it a little bit, to be honest. I mean, I'll figure it out, but what's the point if we're not going to make money? And it's not about making money for us, just so that I'm clear. It's that it was a fundraising opportunity for the Royal British Legion. So, but anyways, rain is coming this weekend. Great. On the bank holiday weekend too, right? Jeez. Walking in the rain is fun, TJ. I have come to appreciate it very much. As long as it's not torrential, because this walk and commute is much better than my last job. My last job, I was walking on a busy road and there was a lot of traffic and they would splash up on me all the time. And then if it was torrential, then there was no cover or anything like that. And it was a much longer walk to and from the train station then. This one's not so bad. It's not as much of a walk, and it's mostly it's a well-traveled road, but it's mostly like a lot of industrial businesses and stuff like that, and warehouses and stuff. So it's not as bad as like there's not heavy truck traffic coming in back and forth and stuff. So yeah. No rain in England seems wrong, Colin says. Well, I mean, let's be fair. You guys are famous for your rain. What can I say? You're famous for your rain. So I'm going to check out Mandy Hickson's book, and I'll give you guys an update once I read it. I got to buy it first, but I will definitely buy it. And I'm very interested in her life now and what she has to say, not just because she's got my name or I have her name, because she's older than me. I think she went to the RAF at 1984. Yeah, she's older than me. Definitely older than me. So I am interested. She probably has something good to say. I would think she seems to have had a good experience and a lot of life experience under her belt. So maybe I can learn something. Can always learn something. Always learn something new. And anything motivational. I could use motivation in my life right now, to be honest. I'm at a point, I think I've mentioned this once or twice, but I'm at a point where I am realizing how much I don't like working for like corporate offices and stuff anymore. But it is my skill set. I don't have a lot of other skill sets at the moment that are lucrative. So I'm trying to figure out my next path, but also I just started this job and I'm trying really hard to make it work, even though I know in my brain it's not what I want to do, till I retire. But I mean, maybe if things, work out and I can find my way, maybe it will be. I don't know. But I don't know. The thought, it's not really the job. It's the thought of being in the office 5 days a week till I'm 67 or 70, whatever it is now. I know a lot of people do it, and I know it's fine and it's what's expected of most people to be in some kind of that kind of realm. But I don't know that I don't know. The other day I was like kind of envious of someone who was doing like outside work, like landscaping or something. It wasn't landscaping. They were building something, and I was like, huh. And then I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that in the winter in the rain. Why am I jealous right now? I don't know. Anyways, I might be in a little bit of a midlife crisis, okay? Some people get a new car, some people dye their hair, some people change their partner. I moved to England. Anyways, Mick MacArthur says, I always knew it would rain this weekend because my fishing club have a trip booked and it always rains when we go out fishing. Aw! Do you fish for anything in particular? Or you just fish, like, do you go out to the sea or do you go to a lake? Or I'm just curious. My dad was really into fishing. And so I'm just curious. He taught us how to fish when we were little and stuff. So do you go even when it's raining, or does it depend on like the kind of rain, right? As long as it's not downpouring. Because if you only did things when it didn't rain in England, you'd probably only do things like, what, 30 days out of the year? TJ's worked for the same employer for 36 years. I've given up trying in work now, just waiting. You know what? I had a conversation with someone the other day that they were having a conversation with someone else saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, this is going to be the best it's going to be for the next 2 years till I retire or something along the line, like a similar theme. TJ is just like, yeah, I'm just riding it out. I don't really care. It's like, okay. Colin says, I tried washing my car yesterday, but that didn't work, as it always seems to. I don't know if you finished your sentence there. Canal fishing, trolleys, wellies, cans, boots, etc. Canal fishing. Do you guys have laws about do you have to have a license to fish here? And do you have laws about what you can and can't keep when you catch? Like, can you keep your catch? Are there any restrictions? That kind of thing. Because I know in America, you have to have a fishing license for freshwater fishing, but you don't need a fishing license for oceanic fishing. And it's very specific on what you can and can't keep and fish for. So every time you wash your car, it rains. Yeah. Hi, Disco. Welcome. I'm glad you can make it. I hope everything's good with your son and your family, whatever your family thing was that you had to do. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I was just curious about the whole, if there's licenses and stuff. I'm like, if you're under 16, you don't need a license, but over 16 you do, and you have to renew it every year, stuff like that. So TJ says you need a license, you catch and release except sea fishing. So you can't eat anything you catch in like a lake or canal. So is it still fun? Just asking because I never thought it was fun, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I did when I was little, but like as time went on, I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll just bring a book. You guys fish. Disco says son's charity football match he lost. Aw, but did he have fun? That's really all that's important. Mick says it's sea fishing this month, but we have a couple boat trips booked for later in the summer. And if we didn't go fishing in the rain, we wouldn't go fishing much, as it's the wind that's the showstopper. Yeah, I found the wind is the hardest part to get used to for the British weather here. Yeah, so my dad used to do the catch and release. He would never keep anything because he didn't like skilling. But I knew people that did when I was really, really little. My aunt's partner was a fisherman and was a hunter. So he used to do all of that stuff with us kids around for some reason. I don't know why. He wouldn't do the hunting, but he would do the fishing, and he would like descale, and he would cut up the meat and all that stuff in front of us. I don't know why. He plays 4 times a week. Wow, good for him. That's awesome. I've only ever done jam jar fishing approximately 50 years ago. What the hell is that? What's jam jar fishing? Jam jar fishing refers to a simple and popular method of catching small fish like minnows, often used by children or those seeking fun and accessible fishing experience. It involves using a jar, usually a mason jar, to scoop up fish from a river or stream and then transferring the fish to a larger container for release or, in some cases, for cooking. Minnows? Isn't that like a bait fish? I've never done jam jar fishing. I've never heard of it before, in all fairness. What is sticklebacks, Disco? I don't know what that is either. I've done, so we used to fish for, when I was really, really little, like I said, my aunt's partner would fish for trout. And we used to catch a lot of bass. That was a catch and release. I know when we used to fish off the pier in the ocean. So that would be, we would try to catch like fluke. There's a lot of fluke fishing, and we did like crabbing and stuff like that as well. But I think we mostly caught like sea robins and blowfish. But they were really cool for us when we were little, when we were younger, because sea robins look cool. I don't know if you know what they look like, and blowfish, they would always blow up, and then you try to get them to go back down. We did crabbing as well, in this questionable bay near where one of my uncles lived. Wow, you guys are, I would imagine that fishing and crabbing would be very popular. Those types of activities would be very popular in this area. I mean, because it's an island, so what else are you going to do? Anyways, all right, I'm going to end it there today, you guys. A little bit early, but like I said, I'm very tired. We have lots going on. And I wanted to do the RAF thing for Falco, but I'll save it for next time that he is with us, since he requested it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm sorry if this was a bit more boring, but I hope you enjoyed learning about my namesake. Disco, watch this on the replay so you can check out my namesake. Kind of badass. I'm a little intimidated, but okay. There's obviously going to be new content coming up for the next few days, all the time, basically. Go check out Hicksondiaries.com if you can. And thank you all so much for participating in our chat today and for watching. I really appreciate it, as always, because the only reason this show is any better at all is because of you. And I couldn't do it without you. Sincerely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Love y'all. Night.